Up youth. Up youth. Action in Christ. Before anything else, I want to thank God Almighty and His beloved Son Jesus Christ for the grace I have to do this. The President, the Vice President, other members of the Executive Board, spiritual advisors here present, ministers, brothers and sisters, and fellow youths in Christ. What we are about to witness is coming at the instance of the very ugly situation that the world finds itself. Substance abuse all over the world. It has been there right from time. But of late, in the past few years, there has been what we will call a flare. There has been an intensification of drug abuse, that even new substances are being abused. And what is known is that the greater majority of people that are abusing drugs today are doing it, or they started either from peer pressure or from ignorance, substantially from ignorance. So in this lecture, and one other thing to say is that for all of us that are youths, we have so much ambition. Substance abuse is a destroyer of ambitions. It kills ambition. Whatever you say you want to be at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, moving on to 20, if you get into drugs, the chances are that you will not achieve that. And that is not the desire of any youth here. So we want to inform ourselves so that we will be equipped and resist pressures that will come from our friends. So, not to say anymore, if I have time by God's grace, I may speak on a very notorious and popular drug being abused today, which we use in the clinic, that is tramadol. I may speak on it very briefly. I'm now going to introduce the NDLA officials that are here. We have Mrs. Adeoshu Olabisi. She's a staff officer, Drug Demand Reduction Unit, NDLA, Warri Area Command. She is going to do the presentation. And with him is Mr. Nketa Benjamin, second in command to Mrs. Adeoshu. So let's welcome them. I will hand over the mic now to Mrs. Adeoshu for her presentation. Please, let's listen. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Good morning, sir. First, I would like to appreciate the organizer of this program for their efforts to make our youth live drug-free life. It's an effort that we are commending. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency appreciates you. Thank you very much, sir. Not to waste our time, we are going to talk about drug, the effect of drug in our society. We are going to define drug. What is drug? Drug is any chemical substance which, when taken by whatsoever means, changes the way the body functions and also the behavior of the user. So when we say it's chemical substance, it could be natural, it could be synthetic. What are the ways by which we take this drug? Some of us smoke them, we can sniff them, we feel them, we rub them on our body, and the changes that it can cause in our body could be physical and it could be psychological. Oftentimes, it could be both. That is that about drug. And the drug, the word drug is a broad term. It can be grouped into two. Over-the-counter drugs. These are the ones we can go to the chemist and buy to prevent or treat diseases or ailments. For example, you have a headache, you just walk to the chemist, you buy paracetamol, you buy Fensic. Those are the ones we categorize under the over-the-counter drug. The second one is the psychoactive drug. These are the ones that when we take them, they alter our mood. It could be social drug, consumed drug, that is the illicit drug, and this inhalant that we take. That is drug. What is drug abuse? Drug abuse has three simple definitions. Number one, drug is said to be abused when it is not medically necessary. For example, no doctor prescribed for you. On your own, you just feel like taking drugs and you just swallow it. By so doing, you are abusing drug. The number two definition, when the use is legally prohibited. That is, there is a law that says you should not take this drug and you are taking them. When you do so, you are abusing them. And the third one is drug is abused when it is excessively used. For example, the socially accepted drugs like beer, alcohol, cigarettes, brukutu, and so on and so forth. When you take much of it, you are abusing it. That is what drug abuse is. We are going to talk about the consequences of drug abuse. This is categorized into three. The number one is the social problem, sociological problem. It shows how an individual drug-taking habit affects the user and the society as a whole. That is, if someone is taking drug, that person is not the only person affected. It can also affect the society. It will affect the family. It will affect everybody around. And the consequences could be criminal activities. When one is taking drug and the person is not having money to buy, that person is tend to steal. They will steal so that they can get supply of what they want at that time, so to satisfy themselves. It can cause crash and accident. For example, a driver that is drunk, that has smoked, when such person will want to drive, for example, from Warri to Lagos, accident could happen because of the drug that has been taken. Family disintegration. The father is somewhere, the mother is somewhere, nobody cares about anybody. Those are the problems, the social problems of drug abuse. Destitution, loss of job, dropping out or expulsion from school, then prostitution. From this, we can see that drug taking is not only affecting the user, it's also affecting us, it's affecting the society, it's affecting the family, it's affecting even the generations to come. That is that about the social problem of drug abuse. The second one is the psychological problem. This is connected with a person's mind and the way it works. When we say psycho, it has something to do with the brain, the mind. Then when someone is under the influence of drug, that person, body, the brain, the way it works and everything automatically is affected. And it could lead to what? Sleeplessness, that is insomnia, anxiety, anxiousness, restlessness, that is inability to relax and rest, depression, that is low spirit, psychosis, from the word psycho, mental disorder, then the delusion, erroneous belief. Here is affecting the person. It's not affecting the society, but it's affecting the person's mind, that is the brain and the way it works. Lastly, for the consequences of drug abuse, we have the physical problem. Here, the person taking the drug, that is the user, is exposed to serious health problem that affect the vital organ of the body and the way they work. For example, the brain, the liver, the heart, the lung, the kidney. These are the organs that we don't even see them to see how well they are doing. Physically, we cannot see our brain, we cannot see our heart, our lung. And these are the organs that they are affected gradually, little by little, until it becomes something else. They get damaged as people take this drug. They may take it and feel high, they think they are enjoying. But at the same time, these drugs are affecting this vital organ of the body. Number one, here it can damage the brain and other organs of the body. It can lead to high pressure, hepatitis, HIV, stroke, AIDS. Here I would like to explain how drug abuse, the connectivity, the connection between the HIV/AIDS and drug abuse. There is this type of drug that people use syringe to take, injectable drugs. That is how it comes, that is how the connection comes in. For example, there are 4 people in a group. 4 of them want to use just one syringe. And Mr. A takes it, pass the syringe to Mr. B, Mr. C to Mr. D, not knowing that one of them is a carrier of HIV or hepatitis. So the moment A, B, T use only one syringe, the disease spread. And that is how it can affect the body. The other one is damage to the unborn baby. It's not only the male that are abusing drugs. Even young girls, pregnant women, even adult female now, they abuse drugs. And when they are pregnant and they abuse drugs, it will affect the baby inside. The baby will not develop very well. The baby will not grow very well. Then premature death. That's the thing that is common to the 3 consequences we have said. Both psychological, sociological, and the physical effect of drug abuse. One thing is common to the three, and this is premature death. People that abuse drug are liable to die younger. For example, the cigarette we smoke contains an active ingredient known as nicotine. But the cannabis sativa, that is the marijuana that is common around us, contain an ingredient that is more active than that. That is delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. It's more effective and more powerful than the one in cigarette. And when people take it, they think when they take it, they feel high. That's not the case. They are killing the body. They are killing the vital organ of the body. So I want to say here that people that abuse drugs are liable to die younger. And it takes the grace of God for a drug abuser to achieve his or her destiny. At this point, I would like Mr. Ben to come and take us on the aging effect of drug abuse.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. I will continue with sub. The reason why we want to dwell more on the physical consequence of drug abuse because it affects the person that abuses the drug directly. If you look up, we are starting with brain because we said psychoactive, brain active. That means anything you take that affects the brain, that changes the mind, it affects the brain. So if you look up, you see our brain are made of sections. The movement, sensation, vision, reward, memory. If anybody is under the influence of drug abuse, at that moment, the brain will malfunction. It will not function well. Let me use the example of alcohol. If somebody is under the influence of alcohol, the first thing you notice that the person will stagger. Because at that moment, the movement section is not functioning well. That's why the person staggers. It's not only that section that will affect, but all the sections in the brain. Next slide I'm going to show you. The next slide is this machine. We call this machine MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. The reason why I'm showing you this machine because the other set of slides are the output of this machine. With this machine, you can see all the internal organs without cutting the body. If you place the machine here, this is what you see. The brain. If you look, this one is the normal brain. Marijuana user, cocaine user, heroin user, alcoholic user. These pictures, images are real. This one belongs to a man of 50 years old. This one 27, 32, 34, and 27 years old. Do you not want to know the reason why the brains are like that? Let me use this bulb as an analogy. Normally, the current that's supposed to be in the bulb is supposed to be between 220 to 240 volts. But let's now assume that NEPA now brought higher voltage. Two things will happen to the bulb. One, it will be brighter. Then if we do not switch off the bulb, the next thing you hear, pow, it will blow off. The same thing happens when somebody is under the influence of drug. That's highness, that's euphoria. That highness, it overworks the cells in the brain. That's the highness. And once the person continues to use those drugs or substance the person is abusing, the cells start to die gradually. And one thing is special with the cells in the brain. We call the name of the cells in the brain neuron. Once they die, that's the end. Just like the bulb. Once they die, that's the end. That's why a madman cannot have 100% cure except miracle. They will continue to manage the person. The next slide, I want to show you how it affects the lungs. If you look up, this is the normal lungs. Then this is the damaged one. If you look at the damaged one, it's just like suya. This is caused because of the smoke, like marijuana, cigarette, the hot smokes that the person is inhaling is damaging the lungs. If you now use microscope to check these lungs, this is what you will see. The next slide. This is what you see. This is the normal one. This is the damaged one. If you breathe in, the fresh oxygen will enter through air. If you look up, you see something like filter. We call it lung cilia. God is so gracious. That's why he placed this cilia in our lungs, because the air, the oxygen we breathe in has dust and particles. So the cilia filters the dust and particles before the pure oxygen will go to the bloodstream. But if you look at the damaged one, the hot smoke has burnt off the cilia. So the dust and particle goes directly to the bloodstream. That's why smokers, they normally have cough. Because all the dust and particles goes directly to the bloodstream and it will circulate around the body. The next slide is I'm going to show you how it affects the liver. From here to this side, this is the normal one. This is the damaged one. If you could remember the other time I showed you the brain. This is the one for the 50 years old, and this is the one for the 27 years old alcoholic user. If you look at 50 years old, you see two scars. This is caused through aging. The more the person age, that's why you see either one or two. But if you look at this one, the scar, you can't count it. At this level, they said the liver is scarring. That means the person needs liver transplant to survive. Then the next set of slides I'm going to show you is the aging effects of drug abuse. If you look up, you see two images. You think it's the father and the son. But it's the same person. Within this period of 5 years, the person looks older than his or her age. That's why if you see an addict or somebody that abused even alcohol, he looks older than his or her age. It's not only men. The next slide you see women too abuse. It makes the person more beautiful or handsome. If you look up, I know most people will know this man. His name is Majek Pashek. If you look at him, you think he's in his 80s or 70s, but he's in his 50s. We took this picture 2012 at Allen Avenue. Let me show you his teeth. In 2016, he have to go for rehabilitation center, for him to be normal. If you look up, this is Bob Marley. He died because of marijuana at the age of 37. That's a premature death. Michael Jackson died of controlled drugs, just like tramadol. Controlled drugs is a painkiller. We call it propanol. That's what killed him. And this is Fela. He died of marijuana. His name is Fela Kuti. But because of the belief he has in the Igbo that he smokes, he added Anikulapo to his name, meaning he have life in his pocket. And that's what eventually killed him. The next set of slides I'm going to show you is the common drugs that you see. Because of curiosity, though we have some here that you can see, but we still show you. Because some people, they'll say they want to see Igbo, they want to see cocaine, they want to see heroin. This is marijuana, Igbo, the fresh one. See the fresh one. The dried one. This is the fresh one. if you look at the fresh one very well, you think it's like cassava leaf. It's not cassava leaf. Because some of our youths, some of their friends may bring it and tell them that let's use this vegetable to spice pepper soup. So you ask, the first thing you tell the person that let me see the leaf. Look at the leaf very well. Look at the edges. It's like saw. Then look at the leaf again very well. Count the fingers. If the fingers are in odd number, like 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, then know that it's Igbo. So you tell the person that you don't want. Look at it very clear now. This is Igbo fresh one. If you look up this plant, we call it coca plant. Though you cannot see it here in Africa, it's common in the Southern America, like Ecuador, Peru. From this plant, we get cocaine. If they cut this plant, the liquid, like milk, that will come ooze out from the plant, that's what they process to get cocaine. And we have cocaine in two forms. We have powdered one, we have crack one. We have sample here too on the table here. This is the crack one. Just like alum, potash. If you look beside it, okay. Back. If you look beside it, the crack, you see something like test tube. This is what they used to administer it. They will break the cocaine and drop it in the test tube, and they use lighter to eat the base. Then the foam that comes out, that's what they inhale to feel high. And the powdered one is not pure, smooth, like this powder we rub on our face. If you touch it, it's squashed just like salt or sand. So it's not pure, smooth, and it's not pure white. It's coarse in nature, just like sand or sugar. That's how the powdered one is. The difference between the powdered cocaine and heroin is that the heroin is pure white. This is the plant we get heroin from. We call it poppy plant. Just the same way we get cocaine. The liquid from it, they process it to get heroin. This is the pure white. But because people want to make more money, all these dealers, the baron, they mix it with baking powder. So if they mix this a little, it will give you off-white, just like cream color. But if they mix it more, it will be brown. So you can see heroin in 3 colors: pure white, off-white, and brown. The reason why we are showing all this, so that because of our youth curiosity, I want to know heroin. And before you can know it, you must belong. They will not show you. You must belong before they allow you to see it. And one thing is, once you start, it's hard to stop. This is the white, off-white, brown. If you look here, you see balloon. This is what they use for trafficking. The balloon, they will not blow it. They will open the mouth, drop the drugs inside, and tie the mouth. Then the person that is going to carry it, they will ask him which type of soup, draw soup, the person likes. Either okra soup or ogbono soup. Then they will now put it inside the soup. The person will now swallow it like akpu or eba. And swallow, depending on how many the person can. Some can swallow 50, 100, 150, 200. But one thing is that if one of the balloon untie or burst inside, the person will die immediately. And moreover, at the entry point of our country, airports, all the seaports, we have all this machine, like that MRI, scanning machine, to detect people, because most of them swallow it to conceal it from the enforcement agents. So with this machine, and once the person is arrested, we prosecute. And those ones that the balloon busted inside them, the cops, the government will not release it to the family. They will give it to the medical student for practical. At this junction, I will want to hand over to Brother Uche. He said he wants to talk on tramadol, the common one, so that he can talk on tramadol and all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our visitors. Wonderful presentation. I have learned a lot, and I believe most of us have also learned. But I think the name tramadol is familiar with many. I'm not going to go into too much of pharmacology, but I'll just go to the part that should benefit us. That is adverse effect, the side effects of tramadol. Don't bother what it's meant for. Or maybe I should mention, tramadol, we use it in the hospitals, and we use it to relieve pain. When it is taken at doses high and above the doses we use it for, these are some of the side effects you get. Hypotension. Hypotension is sudden reduction in blood pressure. And if you are standing, you collapse. And if people are not around, you know our emergency services are very poor, you die. Did we read of a kidnapper that died recently? They were caught, they didn't succeed. They were caught, they didn't succeed. While with the police or so, they found that he just went into, he slumped, he became unconscious. And they were waiting, took him to the hospital, he never woke up, he died. The picture was there, it was on the floor. That's how bad tramadol can be. Respiratory depression, you just find that at a particular dose, in fact these days, it was from one of a patient I had here, who is abusing it, that I had of 250 milligram single dosage form of tramadol. Single dosage form. And that he could take as many as 3 of it. That is 750. Very bad. You also have hallucination, and this is what we see with many who are in the streets today. Some at homes, they are giving their parents, siblings problems. In fact, there's one that came again, one other one that came from outside, brought by the father and the sister. Stalking anyhow, seeing things that people are not seeing, hearing things that people don't hear. That is tramadol. Then sleep disturbances, can't sleep. It's another problem. Even sexual dysfunction, and this one is also of importance. For those who abuse it for long, they can become infertile, both males and female, because it causes hypogonadism. That is the gonads, the ovaries, the testicles, it will just suppress all those things and destroy them. Very bad. Then it can also cause convulsion. It can also cause sudden, what we call syncope, sudden collapse. We've had a boy rushed once from a neighboring community here, and you need to see the scare. They said he sat somewhere and just collapsed. And when he woke up, when we started interviewing him, asking him, he has been abusing and had abused substantially that morning before it happened. So it's very bad. It's not something we should go into. And there are many others. Let me not take too much of time. He mentioned something about addiction. Heroin. That once you start, you can't stop. Because many of our young ones, or many young ones who get into these things, it's their friends. Say, just try this thing. Or you see them feeling somehow excited, feeling high, looking as if they are some people from space. And you admire them. No, it's temporal. And when they give you, especially cocaine is even worse. Cocaine is one that just sniffing it, with many people, there's a word for it. That's what we call the reverse tolerance. Just sniffing it, you will always want it. Some others you will need to take it for some time. So it's better, don't start. Don't show any interest. Don't admire those people. Think about your ambition, what you want to be by God's grace. And one other thing, if we as Christian youth, we are seeking to be high, focus on Christ. Focus on Christ and God. What we are seeing in the world today is that people have lost their sense of godliness. God consciousness is not in most people in the world. And they are seeking for high, they are seeking for fulfillment in things that give them temporary fulfillment and destroy them eventually. Those pictures, they are real. They actually cause cellular damage in almost all organs. Those drugs. Then withdrawal. Okay, finally. Withdrawal. Because there are some who take it and from nowhere they want to stop on their own. It becomes a problem. So it's better not to start. Tramadol has withdrawal, it can manifest with withdrawal syndrome. When you decide that you want to take it, and the withdrawal syndrome can even kill you. So it's better not to start. Yes, not to start, not to start. Then, solution. There may be some here that are already abusing tramadol, and you, all such ones, just be honest with yourself. This may be one lecture, and maybe the last if you're not going to change. And God has allowed, and I thank the youth for this, and then the executive board that approved very quickly that this should come up. This may be the last. We are offering, because by God's grace, we've helped a couple of them that have visited here. They are not members, coming from here, from wherever. We've helped them. And there's one in particular that we are still trying to help. Somebody will have to help you, guide you through coming out of the drug gradually. So, feel free to come. You will not, your identity will not be disclosed, and we will help you by God's grace. One other thing I didn't mention is suicidal ideation. Tendencies, wanting to die. People who abuse tramadol is higher in them. I will stop for now. Thank you.
All right, brothers and sisters, we are going to take one or two questions from the audience. One to go to the lady and the other to the brothers. Sisters will ask, brothers will ask. Beginning with the brothers. Yes, let's recognize the brother. Tell us your name and go straight to the question.
Thank you very much, sir. My name is Bro Gabriel James. My questions goes to the brother that treated the drug abuse. I observe that you come from the NDLEA. I want to know what actually is government doing to curtail the spread of these harmful drugs, especially when you look at the sellers in the roadside. They feel bold to advertise these harmful drugs to the extent that those who are sexually malfunctioning can buy these drugs to make their enhance their sexual activities, which sometimes can be very, very harmful to their lives. So what actually is government doing to curtail the spread of these harmful drugs? Thank you very much.
Please bring the microphone to the NDLEA official, or you can come here to take this one.
Thank you very much. Government is trying their best. But it's not only government that is involved. We too are involved. That's why government set up NDLEA. But NDLEA cannot be in everywhere. Most people, if we arrest them, even it was their parents that they knew they are selling, that will still come. Even if most time we go out for operations, the community will attack officers that they are taking their